Commerce, the gallery here, for having us. Yes, for our lovely guests, for receiving our invitation, and for the RDIF of University of Liverpool Research Development Initiative Fund that has hosted this event. This project started maybe 2019, right after we started the Giambellino-Lorenteggio, which is a new library which was won through an open public competition of the Milanese municipality. And then we have to thank actually Matilde, because she was the one that gave us the term. It's been a good term to think in parallel to the construction of the library, like to think of outside of an architectural project. And we thought of bringing both people to think about books, the library being a current building that will be transporting its books to a new building, and then in parallel thinking about photography and what is the role of urban photography and how do we think of the city and how it's changing while it's changing, basically. So we're posting posters while the library is being built. One is always a text that's coming from outside of Milan. And so people reflect on books, or how have they collected books, how they built their libraries, and then their relationship to books. And then the other part of the project has to do with photography, and Giovanna Silva has been wonderful in being our best photographer of the series.
So far.
So yeah, we invite local photographers to go to Giambellino-Lorenteggio, the area, as it's under renovation and change, and think through their photographs. Luckily, we always have people coming from different perspectives, so always bringing new visions on how to discuss the topic of Umarell. And it's been so far always surprising, I think, for us.
Yeah, the project has this idea that these images dissolve in time, right? Like this, the only life that they have is the time that is up there. We actually haven't seen it. This is one of the first time we actually touch the posters. Everything happens always in the distance, which is a really interesting relationship with the object itself. And we were talking already about what we do with these objects, but one of the things that we like it a lot about the Umarell as a concept, that character that is looking to an architecture being built, almost kind of giving the back of the city, but also in a kind of quiet transit condition, but something that disappears really fast, could be kind of transformed into some material object that also reflects the transformation of the city itself. And Lorenteggio being a place with the new metro line, but also with the kind of the pressure of gentrification in Milan being transformed radically, seem to be a good place to try to map what is happening through these different visions. So these images for us are really important, but also at the same time demonstrate our distance, because that's the only image we have of the thing itself. Like someone that we asked a favor, can you go, we got an email with a series of crosses in a map that says that there are some things on the floor. Can you take some pictures, right? We have done it once. This is the second issue with Jocelyn text and an image from the archives of Basilico that they kind of kindly allow us to use. Osram factory used to be in Lorenteggio. It's one of the kind of the factories that signifies the transformation of Lorenteggio to the early ones, right? Like the arrival of the industry to Milan and the arrival of multiple migrations. The kind of the first one in the 30s, but also the different waves up to the last ones from North Africa that produced Lorenteggio, these kind of melting pot and really intense social conditions. And I think also Osram for us was really, really important because it signifies a moment of optimism in terms of architecture itself, like concrete balls that were like, yeah, we're gonna take over, and also now probably not so necessarily regard like that, even though the images of Basilico themselves have this ambiguous relationship with this kind of modernity, right? They're both ruins of the industrial past and sort of monuments of something that could have been here. And as we always work, we commission a text to an editor friend of ours, Ethel Barahona, maybe you know her. She has a nice publishing house back in Barcelona, and did a really intimate text that has to do with her relationship with books, but also her relationship with what's going on right now in Palestine. And then at the same time, in parallel, completely disconnected, Guido Guidi agreed to actually go to Lorenteggio and take some pictures. It was a complicated process, a long one, and eventually what happened is that we didn't get one or two pictures, that is usually what we expect, but we got a lot of pictures. Well, this is a selection from the many pictures he sent us. And when we asked like which one we should use, he left us to choose, which was the most terrifying thing ever. Like, you know, you get like a bunch of pictures by Guido Guidi, and you have to choose which ones are the ones that actually make sense, which ones are the good ones. So we, as we are absolutely selfish, we say like we cannot deal with that. Let's kind of push the pressure on someone else, and we invited Stefano Silva and Matilde to actually help us. So literally, this event is going to be a little bit of a kind of public editorial meeting of Umarell magazine to try to decide which are the images that we should use in the 30s of the magazine. But also, of course, as it happens when you're choosing and looking at an image closely, maybe it's a good way to talk about what it means to actually take pictures of the city, what it means to actually go to Lorenteggio to take pictures, what it means to publish pictures.
I am originally from Milan, but it's not a city that as a photographer I explored so much. Then when COVID started and I was basically stuck here, I started exploring the city. I also published a book, and I had a show at the Triennale on the architecture of Milan. So this is why the reason I already been to Lorenteggio and Giambellino, that are not too far from where I'm staying, but it's true that Milan is a very small city that somehow is divided in neighborhoods, so it's not, I'm not used to go in Lorenteggio and Giambellino. I like the most is that the photograph I took is not for a show, but for something that is public. So you asked me to take pictures that then, of course, are part of Umarell, and I love the title of the magazine, let's say, but also the idea of having posters around the city. It's because what I noticed, of course, I study architecture, so of course all my pictures are without people, because somehow you are trained that the photographer has to try not to represent the people that actually are part of the architecture and of the neighborhood you are taking pictures of. So what I appreciate the most is that we also take pictures of the people of Lorenteggio. And especially this guy with the Inter-Football Club shirt representing something very specific from that neighborhood that of course he probably, of course I'm not 100% sure, is second generation Milanese guy, because probably he's from Milan, but maybe his family is not originally from Milan, and he is so deeply connected to Milan that he's wearing the shirt of one of our football team. The reason why I took the other two is the first one, so on the left, it reminds me a bit of my photographs.
Yeah.
This kind of small things that are, of course, part of the neighborhood, but could be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you see a lot of this kind of abandoned part of the city there. And the photographs in the middle is the one that, from a point of view of a photographic image, I love the most.
So first of all, thank you, because it was the first time I went to Lorenteggio in my life, and it was actually on your commission, so thank you for bringing me there. And the first time I went, it was very empty, so the first thing I felt that nobody was around. I don't know if it was because it was, let's say, in the middle of the morning, but still I didn't meet many people, and I remember very well that little park there. And I felt on one side it was very empty, on the other side it was full, but people were behind the doors and behind the windows. So I felt presences, but I didn't see anybody. So that's what I felt. But I think it's the same image, yes,
Yeah.
the one on the right and the one on the left tells about this emptiness I felt, and also the situation of it ran down, but on the other side very lively, because it's not true that it's empty. And so that's why I picked these two images.
The selection I did, I think I was thinking about mostly him doing the photographs, and actually I found it actually kind of fun. So I was not much reading the clues about the Lorenteggio, which I've never been, but more the clues about the guy behind the camera. So going around and more or less looking at things without thinking too much where he was. I think everybody was seduced by the one in the middle. I don't know. It was a short series, it's true, and maybe it shows himself, of course. So it's not that it's not by chance. And then I was in a way attracted by generic views on the sidewalk. So things that happens maybe when you are in the car or when you are on the other side of the street. And of course to the marginality, which is always something that also includes many photographic stories. Actually, and this is very literally marginal. But about the first introduction you did, I think it's really you can really sense or feel the effort of putting different things together. Things that are not supposed to be in the same wall, in the same context. Like texts are different, texts are not describing as anything about the Lorenteggio or yes or no. And this doesn't make much difference. And the photographs at the same time, they don't need to show precisely a specific site. So they go a bit far from the idea of documenting a space or a context, and maybe they give more openness to what we can get from it. I don't know, this is what I felt also when you were the effort to put different aspects together. And also people and things that, yes, okay, we have chatted, but also not. And so it's the effort to generate potentially new ideas, I don't know, maybe new images, or also putting together things that are not supposed to be in the same page.